see you here. Thanks for popping by. And I guess we can talk a bit about um, the link community management guide. Like we have this, so when you are building Discord, if you are not native, I think a lot of you decide the option is to go with an agency and to have somebody to manage it for you because it's just extremely chaotic as a process. But we wanted to kind of like give you this idea that you can actually do it yourself. In fact, uh, you should have community within your as a core assets for your company. And there's ways to do it without spending a ton of money to build a genuinely engaged communities. Yes, I'm Louisa Rockstar. Okay, why don't we start? And I think people are gonna trickle in more. All right. So the three things that we are going to talk about is before you launch. So we're gonna discuss why you should have a Discord or why you should not have a Discord. Some of the unique feature Discord has versus say Telegram. You must be thinking about that as well. How to build a good server. So UI, Discord setup, and finally, we want to talk about recommended bots and how those bots can help you build a better, more secure Discord server because a lot of you also have questions about spams and scams. It's a problem on Discord. Second part we're going to talk about is early stage growth. So this is the period of time where there's very few engagement. You're not spending a lot of money on aggressive marketing yet. We're going to talk about whether you should hire mods, what's the best onboarding process will look like for the users when you're early on, and two actions that you can take right away. And finally, it'll give you some sense about what the early days looks like. And finally, the third part we're going to talk about is scale, right? So hyper growth, how to do marketing. That's I think everybody is going to spend a ton of money doing marketing. How to manage hype specifically in a data-driven way, and how to continue to build engagement without losing, even though you're growing really fast. Okay, so before you launch. So I think a lot of you are Web3. If there is no Web3 folks, feel free to leave in a chat message. I can talk about why you should have a Discord in a non-Web3 sense. Um, okay. Uh, the biggest reason why you need a Discord for Web3 is because your DGen or your potential investors, they would, on your TGE day or your NFT launch day, they would take a look at your Discord server, goes like, this is really interesting. There's a lot of hype going on, so I'm going to invest, right? People tended to associate hype with a hype with how legit the project is, right? And people tended to use Discord as the platform to chat how active a community is. You can't do this technically on Twitter because it's not a live platform. And you can potentially use Telegram to do it, but we're going to discuss why you pick Telegram or Discord. A business case of having a Discord. So this is really important, right? So when you are when you first talk to any potential new customers or members about your projects, nobody is going to buy it right away, right? They don't have enough resource, they don't have enough information about you. So you say, come to our Discord, we're going to do so much things. You're going to learn about how we build our product. And people will be like, okay, yeah, it's a relatively lower ask. I'm just going to come to your Discord and check it out. So then you continue to retain this user rather than just losing this user at the first impression. And who should have a Discord? I think we're gonna skip this one just because everybody here is more Web3 focused. Some of the Discord feature. Discord is unique in a sense that it's a live platform and you can build network many-to-many relationship. This means that a great Discord is when people not only have a relationship with you, right? Everybody likes to talk to the founders, feel validated, but there is a real chance that members can talk to each other and build friendship. and people will come back, not just for you, but for all the other members. An example will be a dev community, right? When you just started a dev community, it's usually people would ask questions and you would answer them. But a great dev network is where people would answer each other's questions. They would promote, they would learn from each other, and they would even kind of like get to try to finish the project together. So that's what a many-to-many network looks like. The other thing that Discord is really great at is having extremely strong bot ecosystems. So here are some of the bots that are super popular. Discord has very good SDK. So if you wanted to ever customize a user experience, Discord has like easy tools for you to do it. And there's also AI bot because AI is a thing now. And this is my 2-second show for community one. So we do AI community management tools. You can use us to automatically engage with users, answering questions. You can use our bots to play D&D. You can use it to also do a lot of the data analytics. There's many bots like this, but I think we're the best. Yes, and this will be recorded and posted later. Final thing about Discord is great at live stream experience. So for example, we have a version that's running on Discord about our YouTube. Discord, you can do token gated live experience, a live stream experience as well, right? So for example, you wanted to reward your token holders with some exclusive alpha, so you can actually use Discord to do this. And Discord has optimized that process a good amount in terms of live streaming. Yeah, token gated content is another one. I think Telegram is going to do this eventually, but for now, like Collabland, for example, right, it allows you to verify somebody has the asset and only get them to see exclusive content. So you can build a community of exclusive members, public members, all in one channels, which actually helps you a lot when you have to manage so many platforms all at once. Telegram. A lot of people have questions about Telegram. I think this is the most common questions that we have, whether to pick Telegram over Discord. If you are extreme crypto native, and the other thing is if you are, say, very, you wanted to just one-way communication, Telegram is great. So for example, right, we have a read-only Telegram channel, and most of the time, that particular Telegram group is for Web3 founders who actually prefer Telegram over Discord. So that's why Telegram is good. But if you wanted to ask members to do more, for example, if you're a learning-driven community, right, you develop a community and you want people to actually learn about what's happening within within your product. You want people to talk to each other. You want to host games, for example, for gaming community, right? You wanted to trade discussion about strategies. Discord is much better. You can have cleaner UI, and you can also do a lot more to secure a server versus Telegram. If you notice, a lot of big Telegram group, they are more read-only than actually read and write. And finally, one of the things that for developer community, we have very strong conviction that Discord is the next platform. Discord is replacing Slack as a place for young people for young developers, right? So if you're a developer community, even if you have a very strong Discord, we've seen cases like this. We notice that a lot of the developer questions is actually asked on Discord rather than on Telegram group. Okay. Dual Mint has a question. User are not so crypto native. TG is easier for them to be onboarded. How Discord support Web2 users? So it would depend. I wouldn't say that if you have complete native Web2 users, I think it's a fair competition of Discord versus Telegram. I think Telegram is very strong in Eastern Europe. but Discord is actually much stronger in Northern America countries. So I think there is a trade-off between them. If you are a complete Web2 driven, right, I think the odds of somebody hearing about Discord versus Telegram are equal in terms of, yes, Telegram is easier, right, because it looks exactly like WhatsApp, but you can make your Discord to look almost like a Telegram. You can make everything you can make everything read only, but for one channel where people can chat. The other thing is like chances of them downloading either app for the first time is quite high as a Web2 users. And if you are the only one that's on Discord, you'll be the only server on Discord, right? So that's actually somehow of an advantage. So it very much depends on the kind of Web2 users that you have. Yeah, and Jerry mentioned it pretty well. Like it's Discord is a younger demographic group. I think if you're focusing on gamers, developers, the other group that we see coming up is basically YouTubers. So YouTubers cover a lot of things. If you are doing, say, more learning driven, we see a lot of learning driven YouTubers, right? For example, UI UX group, learning, even in gaming, like learning shooting, like how to shoot best, like learning driven communities are also on Discord versus on say Telegram. A lot of YouTubers, they have huge followers and huge followings, and what happened is that they are bringing younger generation who are non-gamers for the first time onto Discord. The other group that really changes after pandemic is high school kids and college kids. So what happened is during COVID, a lot of schools decided to host their clubs on Discord. And so you have a small conversion, you have a conversion of people who are not super hardcore Discord members who are not gamers, but like introverts and they are digitally native. Okay, how to build a good server. As mentioned before, and I think this have something to do with the onboarding process. When you start having a Discord server, make it really simple. Don't overcomplicate it. This means don't even do something like having multiple write channel because people will get confused about where to write. Just keep it really simple. Second part is you have to remember that most of the users is going to come from mobile experience. So, and one of the things we notice is if you have kind of like the right slogan to attract people onto Discord, you have roughly about 3-4 seconds. People don't really know what your Discord is about, even though they see it. You have about 3-4 seconds to make an impression to basically invite users to continue to chat or continue to engage with this community, right? So if you think about your mobile experience, you need to show the most valuable information, the most attractive, say even channel name at the first, like before they start, they need to scroll to kind of like the next page. So this is an example of a community and they are a gaming community and you can see, okay, like short storytelling, I don't know, like that sounds interesting. So I'm going to click on it. So think about your Discord UI as real estate. The top of your Discord channel are more valuable versus your lower ones, right? Because this is the first one that people see. How to build a secure Discord. I think this is a question a lot of people have. If you are doing like aggressive marketing, this is a problem that you're gonna face. All right. First is basically especially if you eventually one day you wanted to do TGE or you wanted to just have really like a lot of people are going to flow in all at once, you wanted to hire somebody to set up. The reason is because there is a lot of backend permissions and category permission check that you can actually just do better. And that will help you even if something happened, that will help you debug much easier. Discord setup is really hard, like especially if you have never done it. It takes a lot of time for you to figure things out, and you think you know what's going on, but then you realize that some of the permission are out of sync. So if you are going to ever make a commercial, I would say at some point get somebody who have done this before to check it. When you're just starting it out, right? If you're just starting it out, you're not doing marketing, you're just getting some private user coming in, then keep it simple. You don't need a pro at that point, right? Just keep it simple to don't get user confused. If you are doing If you are doing marketing, another thing is basically you wanted to beef up your security, especially around verification bot, which we're gonna talk about it later. um, how do attack usually happens, right? How does spam happen? So the spams and the attack that we want to prevent is on the server level. So if a user DM another user and get this user to click on the link, that's technically not a server fault, right? Because you've already told user don't click on DM. But if the most atrocious case would be if somebody take a hold of the announcement channel or your admin account, and what they would do is that they would typically send a message goes like surprise mint or surprise launch. Go click on this link and claim your airdrop. Those are the situations that we wanted to prevent. And four categories of main reason is over permission user. Uh, Ideally, there should be one code account that has the absolute admin right, and everybody has rights depending on where they are. And the code admin account is not usually used, so that nobody can DM them. You will have some permission issues, right? So sometimes people will leave webhook open, and that's a bit of a that's a point of attack. And finally, is bot issue. Typically, we don't advise like even for our bot, we never ask for admin right. We don't even need your managed channel, managed server. So those are some of the pretty serious permissions. Like you want to be aware of giving those permissions to, especially for new bot. In terms of how to reduce spam on your server, it's really quite easy. We use Vic to do our auto moderations. Oh, hey Mel. Uh, and Simple things, right? You can actually add permissions so that members cannot tag everyone. This is a very common tactic when they try to spam. They always try to tag everyone. You can disable links happening within your Discord. And finally, the final one is a bit more it depends. It's basically no images, right? So what we noticed, the third category of big spam is that they will have an image, talk about how there's an airdrop or how this like trading thing is gonna get you 100x. No images also means that no memes happening on the community. So that's a trade-off that you have to think about. But no links and no tagging everyone solves a lot of problems. In terms of the bot, for moderations, we recommend Vic. It's a bit hard to set it up first, but it's extremely good at auto moderations. For all the community that we have set up, even in our own community, Vic really helped us in terms of like whenever somebody have a random Discord that just like a Discord invite link, like we actually take care of all those problems. And of course, there's our bot. I've already mentioned it before. We do a lot of AI support, so AI virtual moderators. We also provide a lot of data analytics to help you when you start doing your TG event, which we're going to talk about it later. And for token gated community, Vulkan is great, Collabland is great. I know a lot of like the Ordinal network is coming up. I don't think there's a good bot for it yet, but you know I think this market is quite established, either Vulkan or Collabland. And if you are extremely paranoid about bot, I know a few communities that are just extremely paranoid about bot. BMO is a great bot in terms of preventing bot account from coming in. They are a bit more extreme. That's why we don't usually recommend to clients, but they are very effective at what they do. Okay. Questions from anybody so far? Okay. Doomin has a question. For airdrop and token acquisition for DeFi, what platform would you use? When user are people interested in start small, no gamers. Do you mean situations like Zilly or Galaxy? All right, let me know. I will keep an eye on your response. Okay. Like what does early stage looks like, right? Like one of the things like so TG one of a lot of our community would come to us and like how long is it going to take. We recommend at least 6 months. So this is a chart that we look at about roughly a year and a half ago. We look at the successful NFT projects basically sold out more than 50% within the first like couple hours versus projects that did not sell out, right? So the red lines are project didn't sell out, and the purple lines are projects that actually were successful even in the bear market when there's like nothing going on. And the x-axis is looking at the mean state, right? So t equals 0 is the mean state. And the y-axis is the active number of active users during that period of time. So you can see here that when it comes to hype, uh, they have the same amount of hype. Like hype is something that you can use money to buy. It is not hard to create hype at all, especially in Web3. But they didn't sell out regardless of all the hypes that they have. The difference happening before 60 days before they start doing marketing, right? So we think marketing typically take about 60 days, like 2 months ish. You don't wanna, you can't do this for a long time because like at the end of the day, like you're going to, people are exhausted if you're hyping all the time. We notice here that even say 2 months before they start doing marketing, for the 4 months before this, right, you notice there's a lot more activity happening for communities that have eventually sold out versus community that did not sell out. Um, so this means that we need a stronger, like if you have a stronger foundation to start with, we estimate that you can generate double the amount of hype with the same amount of investment that you put into it. That's why it takes more time, right? In terms of the budget, if you think about 6 months, it must be a lot more expensive than 2 months doing it. No. So this is where the link community management comes in. The first 4 months is really very low key, low expense. It's more about you talking to people and trying to build a community versus spending money getting all the users in. So that's the yeah. Okay. Should you hire moderators? It depends, right? So if you think that the server, your community is really high profile, we have some projects that have extremely, like people are just watching it, people are just coming in without them even doing any marketing because they've heard about it from some secret alpha. Mods give you 24/7 security alert. Typically what happens is that if you have some security breach, the hackers will look for the time zone that you are not active, like the core team is not active, and they will do the attack. So having the moderators at least have a first line of defense. The other thing is if you decided to have moderators, especially early on, you wanted to train your moderators if they can especially ban users. I think kick and ban users, those are some of the things that are really sensitive within the Discord community. And finally is if you're going to hire moderators, you wanted to, like, I think you don't want to just give them the community goals like go manage it, go give me some chat. That never really happens. You need to give them play on expectations about what they should do, right? In our opinion, community moderators, community managers, their primary job, especially during early stage, is to engage rather than answering member questions. Of course, they answer member questions, right? So then they need to interact with all the users, try to learn a bit about where those users coming from, what's their background, what do they like. So a lot of KPI is related to how well they're engaging with users. So we do this quantitatively, right? We look at words per message, we look at percentage of users they've interacted with. So you need to set up the right expectations for them. Okay, I think there is a question. Okay, there is a response from Doomint. For DeFi projects, the audience are people who seek APR, APY, or collect unique pieces. In other words, retail investors. Are there places to target retail investors? I don't know. I don't know the answer for that one, actually. I know, I think Zillion Galaxy does a pretty good job in terms of aggregating all the Web3 users who are very sensitive to airdrop and reward. And Galaxy is much more gearing towards DeFi, crypto, crowd. I don't know if there's any, Tascon is another one that's good. But I don't know if there's any specific platform just for retail investors. Okay. Talking about onboarding experience, first is basically make your Discord UI clean. I think we've mentioned it. Just make it simple to start. Make one. You can have as many read-only channel as you can, right? Read is basically people can check different channels to understand what the project is about. It's almost like a lazy exercise because they don't need to do anything. You just have to read depending on their curiosity. Just make one channel that they can chat so that they know, okay, if I want to say something, I know this is a channel where I go to say something. And a great onboarding experience. This is almost universal when we ask people, like the most impressed community they've seen is when they hop on board within the first 5 minutes, there's a couple members that's actually greeting this particular users, right? So it could be the moderators, it could be other users. Almost all the time, it's a mix of both, right? They greet them, they send cute memes to each other's. That's a great, like within the first 5 minutes, because then people will be realized, oh, this server is great. Like there's like, it's really friendly to me. So have your core members greet new users are quite important. One of the things that a lot of people make mistake is some communities, they will have chatters because they don't want the community to look very dead, right? But the problem with chatters is that you need to train the chatters to talk to the new users when they come in. One of the biggest problem is if they keep talking to each other and I'm a new user, I just joined the server. I saw, okay, there is a conversation happening. It seems like they are a crowd. I'm not friends with them. Maybe I should just like keep silent so that, so that I don't disturb whatever is going on over there. So if you ever have chatters, they should work exactly like the moderators without the moderators role, I guess. They need to bring people into the conversation. They need to chat with this person in order to give them a great onboarding experience. Uh, Offer members something to do. This is what we found super look, we found it like when they come to Discord, they wanted to do something, right? Like, what can I do? Can I chat? For example, introduce yourself is a pretty good starting point, right? Because people love to talk about themselves. We always, on our server, for example, we always have some events happening, and there is always a call to action people can try instantly and get instant gratifications. So we are launching a new feature called Quest Engine, so people can just literally type /quest and they earn some points and they see the things they can do, right? You don't necessarily have to host like synchronized event. Basically, everybody get together at this one particular point and we're going to do this game. That's really hard. That's extremely time consuming. And honestly, not a lot of people show up. You can do async. For example, treasure hunt, we're doing this games. Like leave the next numbers, right? You can do a lot of async events, but you want to give people the impression that, okay, there's something to do, I can do it right away. It's really easy to do and I got gratification out of it. And finally, it's about like why people stick around. This is a question that it doesn't really matter if they are airdrop seekers, if they are normal users, if they are developers. This is almost universal about the reason why they come back. And they come back, they don't come back for the rewards, right? They've already probably did all the action to get the reward. They come back because they're friends, they are made on the server. So that's kind of like the number one goal. Like any actions that you do is to help them make friends, either make friends with you because you're the only one there at early stage, or make friends with other people. That's kind of like, it doesn't really matter what community. That's the number one goal that you need to do at a Discord. The two actions that you can do to kickstart your communities. First is announcement. So Discord, like that's almost I would say like we did a survey, roughly about 50% of the people they go to announcement first to check out what's happening. And they also use announcement to figure out if the server is still being actively managed, especially when it's relatively small. Discord is very different from Twitter. I've seen some of the communities, they would literally copy and paste what Twitter has onto Discord with the same hashtag. Discord is different, right? Discord is where people who are genuinely interested in you, they want to check out what's happening, they come to you. So they are potential candidates for super fans, especially if they are real users. And this is a more intimate environment compared to Twitter, right? On Twitter, you talk about positive things. You talk about things you've learned, you've achieved, and great news and collaborations that you had, exciting stuff. On Discord, you should be more intimate. You should talk about, okay, we're doing this. This is our progress. This is not working. We're facing some hurdle here, but don't worry. This is kind of like how we're gonna do this. We need your help doing this. What do you guys think about that? right? So announcement is more intimate, it's more genuine, it's more authentic. You can talk about setback, and people love hearing about setback and of course solutions. You wanted to be honest and candid with the community that you have on Discord, because it's a private community, like at the end of the day. So, slightly different communication methods on the announcement channels. Okay, there's a question. What tool do you use to extract mod data on the previous slide? Our analytics tool actually automatically provide that. We have a free version for it. There's a 4-day lag, but you can just automatically track all the data using our bot. All right. Events. Events is the bloodline for communities, but there are very subtle difference between different kind of events. Typically, when you think about Discord events, you would think about a live stream. We have YouTubers that are making 3, 4K by doing token gated live stream events, right? So, but you need to get to a pretty big stage in order to do live stream events. On average, we think about 1 to 5% of your Discord members are gonna ever show up on live stream. So, like you do all those marketing work, it's a tall bar. There are other events that you can do, mainly sync and semi-sync async events, right? So async event is basically like meme competitions. There's a little game on Discord where everybody has to has to type in the next number, and if somebody skipped the number, they have to redo the game again, right? That's like really stupid games, but get people engaged. Um, for example, for our Quest engine, this is the feature that we are launching. It's in alpha testing mode. It's an async game. You can play it with yourself. You can earn points as you play it. Nobody needs to do anything. So you need to think about like async game. That's the beginning of building up a community. And the second is semi-sync game, right? So for semi-sync, it's basically it's more casual. You're not launching an event, you're just popping onto voice chat. Voice chat is the number one thing where people are actually genuinely engaging with each other. So how does it work? You got this moderator, he's just gonna be on voice chat all the time. He doesn't need to be talking. He's doing his own stuff and just happen to be on voice chat. A lot of time, the moderators will be on both voice chat and chatting with users. Eventually, there's going to be one or two so that are very curious. I wonder who this person is. I've been talking to this person on chat for such a long time. So they hop onto the voice chat. And then the moderators start to chat with those people. And then more people start to realize, hey, something is happening. People are chatting. They hop onto the voice chat again. And then they start talking about their lives. It's almost like a Twitter space, but it's very, very casual. And it's almost like fishing, where you're just there and eventually somebody will be curious enough and they start chatting. What happened when you're having a voice chat is it's a extremely different experience because people hear each other's voice, right? Historically, it's always text on Discord. So we noticed that friendships are built this way. Once you chat with someone, you remember them much longer, you tend to come back much more. So voice chat is really a totally underutilized tool. There's a question. Where can I find the best list of practice and bot to use? We have a PDF that has some of the recommended bots and also some of the some of the guidelines about how to do community. We'll send it over after it. And what if voice chat doesn't work for you? People don't come to voice chat. It depends on what your definition of doesn't work, right? Like, are there going to be like 20, 30 people come right away? I don't think so. You should think about this as if you have 1 or 2 people come at a given day, I think that's a win. You really need maybe a dozen people to be a super strong believer for your community during early stage to start. The other thing is basically, if you think about this activity as a return on investment, like ROI, right? It's a function about like what you get versus what cost you, and what does it cost you, right? If you're on Discord, if your moderators is on Discord, for example, right, just ask them to hop onto the voice chat. It does not incur any additional cost for them. They're not, trying to come up with general fresh content to entertain with members, but they just there, and eventually people are going to show up. So I think that's the way I would think about voice chat. Yes, this recording will be shared. All right. Again, the magical moment happening within Discord is this, we call it a YouTube moment. Two people are chatting, and then all of a sudden, you're from Morocco? Yeah, I'm from Morocco too. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Another would be, this is a real example. There was back then, Australia was flooding. I think the whole country, there's a region that got really damaged. And then there are some Discord members talking on the random server. One member was like, "Oh, sorry, like I'm running out of electricity. Like, I finally got it back." And then another man was like, "Yeah, me too. I just run out of electricity too." Uh, and then they were like, "Did you happen to be in Australia, like that particular region?" And the other was like, "Yeah, I'm on the street." And they actually started DM and talking to each other, become friends, right? So that's kind of like the magical moment that you're trying to create within Discord, which is to help member make friends with each others and to have this like common, usually people make friends either because they have common obstacles that happen a lot with games, right? You've got to slay this dragon together, or because you have some commonality between each others. So you want to create enough friction, enough interaction with members to maximize the odds of this happening. Um, okay. Early days. What does early day look like? This is where you should set your expectations, right? So you're not doing aggressive marketing. You should not until you have a solid foundations because it's going to make everything much easier. Uh, it's just one at a time, right? You're talking to one people at a time. You're asking about his life, how he's doing. It's really a pretty non-scalable process if you think about it. If you think about having a 100K server and you like it's almost counterintuitive that you gotta talk to one at a time because like how when will you ever finish? But there is going to be a tipping point where eventually you don't have to talk to all the people and people are gonna do that job for you. But it started out by one at a time. So I give you some examples, right? We know Skittles. Skittles actually have a official Discord server, and the head of marketing, I think his name is Michael. He's on Discord all the time, and we ask, okay, like why are you on Discord all the time? It doesn't even make sense. Especially, he's actually in charge of both Skittles and all the other chocolate brand on Mars. He said, "Oh, because I know those people. I grew up with them. We have it during COVID. I've seen people graduate from college, got new jobs, get married. It's a great experience, right? That's what it means to build a community. You're having one interactions with people, you're learning about people's life, you're making genuine friendship. um, yeah, so that's kind of that's what it takes to start, and then it'll get better. So in terms of like what are some of the phases, first is like it's really quiet, it's just you talking to people, and then you have one super fan. Like it's usually because you talk to this person, he was like, "Oh, I'm finally being heard, I'm feeling validated, I feel happy talking to you, I feel being respected." I don't think this is something that people get a lot these days. And then the super fan is gonna try to help you when you're not around. He's gonna start talking to all the other people. Goes like, "Yeah, you should do this, you should do that." And then you got more super fan. They're gonna bring in their friends into the server because they thought this is a cool server that everybody should be in. So now all the super fans are talking to each other, and eventually, this is when instead of you talking, you have a network of people of really strong believers during the early stage of talking to each other. Okay, cool. Let me see any comments here. Sandra said, if it doesn't work, maybe you can start an event to encourage people to get involved. And Dooming Thing says, how long did it take to start an average community from scratch? Yeah, roughly 6 months. I would say give it at least 4 months, right? Don't the worst thing you can do is you're gonna do a TGE 2 months from now and you're just gonna push it right away, right? At least you wanted to have 1 or 2 months of time where you figure out what your community is about before you push for aggressive marketing. Um, yeah. Okay. This is a community that use our bot for a long time. They launched it was a gaming community. They minted in late December, so it was not kind of like it's not the bull market yet, right? They had a collection of 7,000 pieces, and they sold out roughly within a minute and a half. But before this whole thing happened, for a long time, there are roughly 20 people talking on the server. That's what it looks like. before they actually start doing marketing. Like that's what it looks like. Okay, so now you're ready to scale. How do you do marketing for your communities? You can do it organically. Organically is nice. That's what you should have for the first 4 months. You get like people come, like 1 or 2 people coming in. That's quite normal, honestly. Reddit is great if you are, say, developer communities. If you have a real product, if your product interacted with real life, Reddit is a great way. There's a tight connection between Reddit and Discord. YouTube channels. If any of you are KOLs, YouTube have YouTube channels. YouTube is a good way too. We've worked with a lot of native YouTubers. They are getting basically 10% of the viewerships from watching the video to coming to the Discord. Twitch also has extremely tight integrations. We see indie game developer, for example, right? All they do is to live stream their work. They will talk about, I'm going to do this work. I'm going to live stream about it. It's extremely boring, right? But you actually have like 5, 10 people coming in per sessions. So that's another way to do. And finally, it's Discord listing site. So that is something that so Discord listing is relatively non-Web3, but it's highly effective in, especially in, if you wanted to kind of like have an overlap between real users versus say the crypto degen. Discord is the best listing site out there. There's top.gg. That is a bot listing site. We can talk about it later. I don't think it's very relevant. There's Discardia, which is the one that we work very closely. They are probably one of the largest bot listing sites for a commercial purpose. So how does it work, right? It's you post about what your community is about, and those, like the big one, roughly got 1 or 2 million users per month. And all those users, they come to the sites because they're looking for a community to join. And they will look at, oh, this is like a cool community, they join it, right? So this is where we notice that if you're coming this way, people don't necessarily know what your community is about. I think that's a common thing, right? That's when you should have only 3 seconds to make an impression and get something so interesting they wanted to click on more. But those are great because people who are on the site are already looking for a community to join. And why are they looking for a community to join? They're spammers, but other than spammers, there are people who are just genuinely wanting to make friends because they feel lonely, and that's a big problem actually on the on Discord. Okay. Can you share a bit geolocation wise? Reddit, Twitch, where is the most popular? You mean Reddit versus Twitch? Which one is more popular? Or what do you mean geolocation wise? So Twitch is great for gaming related stuff. You typically what happens is that you just do your work and you stream about it. And Twitch is really horrible at discovery, but you'll get people who go like, "Whoa, this is cool!" Randomly finding you if you stream long enough, and they will want it to be part of like almost like the OG for these projects. They got to see what's going on with this game development. That's how we see Twitch is being used. Or do this game, I'm gonna play a little bit, right? It's almost like you are publicly working in the library and you have to entertain user more. Where is Twitch more popular? Oh, I actually don't know the location. I think I actually don't know the location for Twitch in terms of geographic. But I think in Asia, there are different platforms. That's what I heard. In terms of the paid marketing options that you have, collab managers, I think hopefully you guys are familiar with this. If you are not, they're just basically people who goes like, oh, this is a big project you can collaborate with. Like you guys can do Twitter Space together, integrate products together. That's what I do. Quest platform, so Zilly and Galaxy. We might do it like another workshop specifically talking about Zilly and Galaxy. You should think about them as paid marketing. They are top funnel growth, right? Think about Twitter, exactly like that. They are not like your job is not done. Your job just started when you get a user into your Discord. They do not know anything about you. They do not care anything about you. They just want your airdrop, right? But they're in your server. So now you have a great chance to convince them that your project is great. That's when the Discord part comes in. Just because somebody is in the Discord doesn't mean that he's a fan, right? So you should think about Quest as a platform to attract people in rather than actually they truly believe in your product. Discord listing site, as mentioned before, Discardia, top.gg, and Discord.me. we wrote some blogs about how to grow within those channels. If you are gamble driven, gambling, right? So we have, for example, recently one of our clients is a prediction market site. That's kind of like gambling. Trading related, trading is huge on Discord actually. Those are great. Like those are actually great platforms. You can find native users, Web2 users who are very interested in gamble and making money. In terms of hype, before you start doing hype, again, this is a checklist that you should do. First, you need a great verification bot, and I think Vic is the one that we recommend. Second thing is that you wanted to have proper security setup. So this means that your webhook is not randomly being exposed. You don't really have a lot of admin that could potentially get hacked. You want to write analytics. So we're going to talk about the analytics part a bit more later. You want to have trend moderators. If you're doing hype, you need to have moderators, right? The moderators need to help with engaging users, need to help with the spamming and the spamming part of the problems. And of course, you need somebody to be in charge of all the moderators, which is the community managers, to understand if there's any potential problems happening. But I would say don't, no matter what, do not use me. Do not use me6 as your verification bot. There is literally an API where people can automatically verify directly on Discord, directly without logging your Discord and verified. So yeah, don't do that one. Okay, hype matters, right? If you want to sell out a large collection, of if you have a large token issuance, this is what hype looks like. This is the same projects. Remember how they have like roughly 20 people talking every day when they actually start doing marketing? They launched end of December, right? So they did it roughly at the beginning of November. So 2 months of marketing period of time. At the height, they got about 4,000 members chatting on the communities. You do need like as member, like eventually a couple of days before you actually going to do the mint or doing the launch, people are going to check out your Discord, right? So and people don't really know the numbers, but they have a good sense about what's happening. And we just basically quantify that sense and telling you what the numbers should look like. Okay, when you're doing aggressive marketing, bots are gonna come. In fact, if you're doing Zilli or Galaxy or any large collaborations, roughly 60 to 80% will be bot account. So for example, this is a screenshot of our analytics, and this is the actual, like this is the same community, right? And you can see that at the point when they are doing the marketing, roughly like 60 to 80% are bot. It's inevitable. There's no way around. There's professional farmers out there who is trying to get as many accounts as impossible. So we have a blog about this, but here are some of the, if you wanted to run a super efficient marketing campaign, almost like a Formula One team where you have like step 1, step 2, step 3, like it's a plan, it's a wall, like when you're going to it, right? So here are the list of KPIs. First is a quick checklist. Online to total users, right? Typically, if you are really far away from 10%, maybe like even 5% is all right, depends on the community, right? If you're like 1% of your communities are online, like I know it's being botted. Everybody know it's being botted. That's the problem, right? So they're like, I don't know, this project is botting themselves. So you wanted to make sure like it stays around 10%. And if you have like less than 3%, for example, you should start adjusting your marketing strategies. Typically, why this happened, it's not like the server are botting themselves, right? It's because you are doing invite competition. You're saying that we will give the most money to the people who invite the most amount of people. And of course, they're going to invite bots. Like no human being can invite 60 people in a week. That's almost, we don't really see this organically happening. And second thing is number of new joins versus leave. So you know like how you have the total number of Discord, and what happened is they do not give you a number of joins versus the number of leaves. And that's a great indicators that you need to have. So how many people are leaving? If you have a lot of people are leaving, that typically means that people are very confused about what the server is about. Or maybe you promise one thing, they come to server, they realize it's another thing. They're like, oh, what? Then they leave. Another reason why they could possibly leave is because you are, it's the third reason, basically verifications, right? So there's different categories of verifications. There is your click a button verifications, right? So Vic actually provide, you just verify. There is your in-server capture. So you type in some particular numbers. Those are the hardest one. Or you could say pick a trend and you click on this trend. Those are relatively easy. What we notice is that if you're doing capture, especially any version of capture, you have a much lower verification rate. So for example, right, there's capture where there's like 5, 8 random letters that you have to type into it. The problem is that if you are on mobile, and lots of people are on mobile, right? If you click on verify, the screen will black out. So you don't actually even see the shadows for those verification letter, then you forget about it. And we see sometimes the verification rate is 25%. That's extremely low. Ideally, you should get about 75 to 80% of verification rate, right? And they got frustrated like this. I'm not interested in this anymore, so they didn't leave. Um, and then finally, you want to look at how many bot account are coming in. That will give you some idea about your actual kind of customer acquisition cost. So that's the top funnel, right? You can do it for anything. You can do it for Zilly, Twitter, collaborations. And then the second part is basically conversions, right? Just because they're in doesn't mean that they are having a great experience on your communities, even if they verified. So first thing you want to check is basically what percentage of people chatted. We're aiming for roughly at roughly 50% of the people who are verified. So around 15 to 25% of total number of users coming into your community that day. Uh, and the second thing is basically quality of message, right? If people are saying GMGN and they don't say anything else, the GMGN is not a problem, right? It's a cultural, but they don't say anything else, that's a problem, right? And so you wanted to take a look at that. If you see this number to be too low, this is something that's very fixable. If you have proper training with the moderators or with the core team about like how to engage with users, people learn how other people respond and they talk to this person in a similar fashion. And the third KPI is basically the number of messages, single message sent, right? So if a user sent out one message, what percentage of user only send one message? We want this number to be lower than 35%. That's kind of like the benchmark that we've seen across servers. If you are very high, say like 60% of users send out one message, this either means that it must be like they are being forced to send a message because they need to say need to say something to earn points on Galaxy or Zilly, or maybe they say something and nobody is responding to them, right? Again, this is where the moderators comes in, the community managers comes in, and this is why it's important to train them and to have them at that point. It makes a huge difference when you have human interactions. You can actually find all the analytics related to the top funnel and the conversion on our analytics bot. There is a free version. You can use it when you're not doing aggressive marketing, and there is a live version that's a premium version for it. But this will help you to, like, if you see something is wrong, the idea, like, for all the KPIs here, right? There's action points you can do. For example, right? If the chat rate is really low, you got to talk to people, you got to train people to talk to, tag people to talk. If the quality is low, like, you guys need to talk in a more full sentence, and you guys need to ask more meaningful questions, right? So there's action points that you can take with this list of KPI. Discord provides data related to geographic, which is very valuable, which is a set of data that we cannot get because of the user privacy issue. I think that's interesting to check out. What is the most important KPI that you should care about is basically potential buyers. So this is conversion, right? This is the people who truly believe in you. And we look at we did some machine learning model to basically predict what is the probability of somebody who will actually buy something from you, and how do they react differently on Discord versus the regular users, right? So typically what we wanted to see is in an an 8-day window of time. They come in at least 3 days and they send out roughly 15 message or more. So 3 days basically means that people are developing the habit of coming into your communities, and having more than 50 message means that they are spending at least 5 to 10 minutes on your community every day. So then people start to develop the habit of coming in. And we are basically, so that's kind of like, if you have a really well managed team, you will see this number going up. Okay. I think we're running out of time. I wanted to kind of like use the last couple minutes to see if anybody has any questions. But another thing I want to give a shout out is we are doing alpha testing for our Quest bot. So how it does is that it's a specific Discord related engagement tool. We are gamifying engagement by users can do daily quest, custom daily quest, depending on the status of their journey within the community and depending on where your community is. And we will automatically track how well they are doing and reward them with the XP point. Like as mentioned, right? The goal is to get people chat, first of all, on Discord. Second, chat in an engaging way, not just, chat with each other. And third is basically to help people make friends. Those are actually some of the almost like the design principle for a community. And yeah, so if you are interested in alpha testing, you can find me possibly on Telegram. We'll send kind of like a post-event message on Luma, and you should be able to find my information there. And it's free during alpha testing period, but we are doing it for a very limited period of time. All right, any questions from anybody? Okay. So and finally is about, even if you are, I think we might do a workshop on Zillion Galaxy, even despite like how horrible it is, I feel like nobody really loved them, but everybody uses them. You can make it better. You can make it more engaged. You can do tasks that are asking people to do a bit more than just connect and follow. And here are some of the ideas about how you actually can do some ideas for your communities that you can build friendship between people. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it here. All right. Anybody has any other questions? And I want to thank you for sticking with us till the last minute. I know that everybody is really busy. Would your Quest bot meant to do work as Zilly? I think we're better than Zilly and very different. So Zilly is about growth, right? They are just about helping you expand your numerical numbers across different social media. We are actually trying to help you do engagement, trying to help you build interest among your members once they join Discord. And the other thing we're different from Zilly is extremely time consuming because you have to manage everything yourself. You have to come up with a quest, approve quest, you have to approve points and all those things. We are completely 100% automated. You really don't need to do anything. You just have to, because we're using AI to check and verify the work. Yeah, you just have to get ready to reward real members. Whereas we have not, even in our, like in a couple of community that we are doing alpha testing, we have not seen any, we haven't even seen anybody explored some of the vulnerability, and we're pretty confident almost like everybody is real human being, because no bot can spend so much effort doing all those work and actually chat with people. Send me a DM on, oh, hold on, maybe I should just here's my Telegram. Send me a DM if you're interested in enrolling in our Quest engine. Okay, anybody has any other questions? And again, I just want to thank you all for sticking with us till the last minute. I know it's a long one, and I appreciate it a lot. If you have any feedback, feel free to also let me know. Last thing, if you guys have any good resource about TGE, especially around launch data, like which product launch, how much they raised, things like that. We are looking for a database that have those aggregate information, because we're very curious about like how that is related to how great their community is, like how they manage the community. So feel free to kind of like shoot me a message on Telegram. Let me know. We are actively looking into that space. Kind of like we want to do a little bit more deep dive on it. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure. And this will be, there's going to be a video about this. So I will share the video link after that. Awesome, cool. I will talk to you guys later then. Bye.